Today we are talking, of course, somehow the names got switched between Kat and I, but today we are talking about newsletters. If you're catching the replay, tag replay, and I'm going to go find us online, or Greg is going to look for the post. I don't know why. It's already shared in the group, Greg, right?
I am watching it right now.
Okay. Failing, can you check the sound levels? He's not even here. Anyway, let us get started. So, hey, I'm Pip. I run Seymour Digital Media. We help people with their search and social marketing. Today, I bring you a special guest. But before that, hey, Greg, this is Greg. Greg, I'll let him introduce himself, and then I'll let Miss Kat, Mrs. Kat maybe, introduce herself. But so, Greg, give her.
Yeah, giver. My name is Greg McKinnon, as everybody probably knows if you watch Geek Speak. I run Original 72 Creative, and we're a full-service website graphic design and digital marketing firm in Vancouver.
Yes, it's true. And Kat.
There we go. I am Miss Kat. There we go, Miss Kat Lim. I joined this group because of Pip. I have been doing digital communications and marketing for about 12 years now, primarily for nonprofits in Ottawa before I moved out to lovely Victoria, BC. And I am currently employed as a one-person communications and marketing department.
Extraordinaire.
There we go.
Don't it?
You get to wear all hats.
I do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Busy.
But I love email the most.
Also, how Ottawa to Victoria?
How Ottawa to Victoria, that is a longer story that has nothing to do with email newsletters. So we can chat about that later.
Okay, I have found us, sort of. And so today, guys, we are talking. Now, I can't see who's here yet. I see Phelan, but don't worry. In a second, I'll be able to see. And somebody's saying, hi, Greg and Kat. Not sure who that is. I'm sure it's somebody amazing. Give me a second and I'll see. Yes. Oh, shoot. Hold on. There we go. I know this. My computer's really slow, so we got some back talk. Shoot. I do apologize. Here we go. Wow. So slow, my computers. Okay. So today, just so you guys know before I start, Kat's mic is a little low. She will have to eat her computer to get the sound volume up. So we're just all going to listen intently because that's the way it is. So if you're joining us, pipe in about your questions about newsletters. And in the meantime, we're going to start with the how, what, and why of newsletters. And then we're going to get into, I think, opportunities and recommendations and maybe some cool tips. But so Kat, my initial question for you, and Greg, I know you're going to have a lot of questions too, but why do newsletter content marketing?
Okay, so email for me is that thing that we don't really think about because it's part of our everyday lives. People are still spending a lot more time in their inbox than they are anywhere else online. And you're more likely to catch them at a thoughtful moment than when they're just scrolling through their social. So that to me is the big why. Rodney had asked a question in the group in one of the posts that you'd posted, I think last night, about open rates and that kind of thing. And that's the other reason I like email better than social. I'm not going to lie here. I'm an email fangirl. And that's around open rates. So he asked what my open rates are. They're between 35 and 37% right now for my email newsletters. But even if you look at what the average open rate is for emails, it's around 20%. Ooh. And comparing that to the reach for a social post, last time I checked, Facebook, a post to your business page reaches around 4% of your page audience. Right? So like that's a big difference, 4%, 20%.
Right, that is a big difference. So is the open rate really 20%?
That is the average open rate. I got that from MailChimp. So it's across all the industries that they work with, and those industries are self-identified by their users. But even like on the low end of that, you're still looking at double kind of your social media reach. You're still looking at 78%. And for me, that's a win.
Wow, that is a win.
The
Yeah.
other thing about email versus, social media is that the email you already know is qualified leads or someone who's expressed interest in your business because why else would they be on your mailing list? So it's not like you're just shooting something out into, cyberspace on social media and hoping the right person sees it. This is, 20% open rate of whatever you're sending to people who are somewhat interested in what you have to say.
Right? Hey, so Bonnie's here, Sherry's here, Rodney's here. Hey, Rodney, we just answered one of your questions. We're going to answer all of them because I wrote them down. Kat and I were talking about that. I did. I grabbed them all, guys. I grabbed them all. So, okay, so we know the why, but so there's this little thing I say, which is email marketing is like the redheaded stepchild. I feel I can say that because I'm the ginger. And so I know I struggle with email marketing. I know it's not something that we're doing, and I know it's something we're going to be doing, and we're going to be doing it for clients. So this is really timely for me. Greg, do you do it for any of your clients?
I am not actively doing any email marketing at the moment for any clients. I have in the past. For the most part, my role with any clients was more defining the template of what the email newsletter is going to look like, branding it, with their colors and make it look like them, as well as just consulting on what material they should put in, what would work best to get them a strategy and a time frame of, we're sending this out, on a certain scale.
Interesting. So, Kat, that brings us
Yeah.
to a really good question. What, pray tell, do we do? Like, are we sending out RS feed emails? Are we customizing each email? Like, what? Tell us. What do you go through, and how do you organize, and what are the best? Tell us everything. God.
Tell you everything. Okay, so RSS feeds are great if you don't have time to do anything else, because you're still getting into that inbox, right? And again, you've got people who have self-selected, opted into that list. But what I find with RSS feeds is that you don't have a chance to frame your message. So you can have a great blog post, but if it doesn't catch your audience right away, then you're kind of going to miss out on them potentially clicking through and reading it. So email newsletters, email marketing gives you a chance to frame your message. It also does give you a chance to personalize your message a little bit more. Personalization is one of those great tools. You'll see a lot of the comments that I make, especially in the group, are about finding what works, doubling down. And for email, mostly the same thing. Test and see what works, double down on the good stuff, except personalization. Personalization, is so powerful that I tend to use it more like a laser scalpel, like
Tell us more.
pinpoint precision.
Okay, so with email marketing,
Yeah.
what is the pinpoint precision?
So it is something like personalizing a subject line. Hands down, when you put someone's name in the subject line, they are more likely to open that email.
Can you
My-
do that
Yes.
with MailChimp?
Yes.
I was going to say shut up, guys, because that's neat. Oliver's here.
Shut
Hey,
the door,
Oliver.
right?
Pardon me?
Shut the door.
Shut the door. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So this brings me to an interesting question. Time.
Yeah.
How much time should I be spending? And if I have no list? So number one question, time I spend. Number two, and I think this is one of the major challenges, is how do we get people on our list?
And I'm going to flip those around, because if you have 0 people on your list, don't be spending any time sending out an email newsletter. If you only have 5 people on your list, don't be spending time on an email newsletter, because the investment is just not there for that size of list. I mean, you're looking at building something. And the easiest way to do that is to build the sign up into your client process, whatever it happens to be. So if you are doing retail sales, that kind of thing, build it into your checkout process, right? Add a checkbox that says, yes, sign me up for the newsletter. In Canada, you cannot have that pre-checked. That's the big thing. They have to physically choose to check it, but if you include it as part of that process, works well. If you are signing contracts or something with clients, so if you're doing kind of B2B work, instead, just include a little page with your client contract that says, hey, we're just going to send you some email every once in a while. It can be really simple, but start there.
That's a good place.
Yeah. So, and again, that's how you build a really solid list rather than getting random people to sign up. Other ways to sign up are white papers, that kind of thing off of your website. I always just have a sign up form on the website regardless. But I'm going to be honest, that does not get a lot of signups.
Interesting.
It does not, because no one wants to just give you their email address for nothing immediate in return. It's really true. If you think about it, giving out your email address is second only to giving out your phone number.
It's true. It's pretty personal.
Yeah. So you got to give them something right away. You got to entice them in. The other way that I've seen people do signups is Facebook ads. Test it and see if it works with your audience and your kind of key demographic. I have not had good success, but what I have had good success with is a week or like even 3 days before the newsletter is going out, do a social post that says, hey, make sure that you're on our mailing list for all the latest news. Give them a link to sign up there.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, that can move the needle a little bit. So that's how you build your list. Once you've got your list, then you can decide how much time is actually viable for you to spend on the newsletter. So right now it takes me about 8 hours to put together my newsletter, but that includes writing a brand new client story every month that I put it out. So I'm going on a monthly basis. If you have a bigger team, you can maybe do it more frequently if your audience is open to that. I sign up to some that are weekly. I have some that are daily. And so those are obviously the ones that have a bigger team behind them.
That daily commitment, I have to say. Hey, Greg, do you get daily emails? Do you sign up for anything, Greg?
I do sign up to things, and like Kat said, there needs to be like, I don't just sign up for nothing. There's typically, something that I'm going to get and I'm interested in before I'll give them my email. I think email is maybe slightly less than like giving out your phone number, because it's really easy to unsubscribe. You can't take back your phone number, but you can unsubscribe your email. So it's a little bit less. Like I'm a little bit more willing to just give my email out, because I know when I get that first email, I can, I have that CAN-SPAM Act behind me to be able to, get off. So
right,
do you use a fake email to sign up? Like, do you use an email that's like just for newsletters?
No, because I never sign up for things that are like personal. Everything that I sign up for is somehow work related, so I just use my normal work email.
Sounds like you like your work.
If I'm worried that they have my personal work email, like I'll use my info at or hello at.
Hello
but
at.
that still comes to me, so it doesn't really make a difference. So
yeah.
Interesting. Nora's here. Hey, Nora, glad you joined. So it sounds to me like everybody should be doing email marketing, but I wonder, are you guys doing email marketing now? Drop in the comments if you are or are not. You know why? Because I want to know. And because I'm not doing it. Now, we're starting to, but we're doing the RSS feed because we don't have the time. right? But there are pitfalls and challenges we're running into. And I know Kat probably knows, I don't know if you guys saw a couple weeks ago, she did a post at 4 o'clock in the afternoon about something that happened with her email marketing. Now,
On a Friday.
on a
4 o'clock
Friday.
On a Friday.
So why don't you just let us know maybe some things we can avoid when we're starting out with our email marketing?
Oh, things to avoid. You know what? So every time I start a new job or with a new client, regardless of the fact that I've been doing email marketing for, 10 plus years, that I still get that pitfall in the bottom of my stomach. I still get the butterflies the first half dozen times that I'm sending something out, because unlike social, you can't take it back.
Oh, that's so true.
So once you hit send, you can't take it back. So my biggest thing is test. Test to make sure all your links work. Test and see what it's going to look like for different subscribers and different email clients. And I know, Greg, when we talked about this a little bit earlier, you were mentioning that when you used to do the design, you did have a bunch of email addresses then, just to see how it looks in Yahoo Mail, in Hotmail, in Gmail.
Yeah, the old days of web design and early day browsers was horrid for us web designers.
Right?
But you don't have to do that anymore, because it's built into most of the tools.
I mean, for email marketing, yeah.
For email marketing, yeah. So for email marketing, find a tool that's going to let you test and see what it actually looks like. Because spacing looks weird on desktop versus mobile, and across the different mail platforms. So really test.
So when you test, you're sending it to yourself or someone else on your team?
So when I test myself first to make sure that I didn't make any boo-boos. One of the areas that you can save time once you've got your email newsletter up and running is I copy paste from the previous month. So essentially I take last month's email, clone it, copy it, and then just replace it with this month's content.
Interesting. Now, with that content, are you linking, you said you did a new user story every month. So are you doing a blog post as well and linking?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yes. So that's one of the things that we A/B tested. And that's the other type of testing that you can do with your newsletters. And A/B testing is really easy with newsletters because, again, it's built into most of the tools. So we actually, where I'm working now, we tested putting a short kind of 100 to 120 word client story right up top in the email.
Okay.
And then having the rest of our stuff underneath, and basically having the full thing there. And the call to action was, if this sounds like you, contact us.
Yeah.
Versus doing a little teaser of that. So kind of 30 to 50 words, really short, with a read more button.
That works better.
That works better, not just because I can tell who's reading the whole story, and I get to tell a longer story, right? I get to tell a 300 to 400 word story on the blog. It actually improved click rates for the entire email.
Ooh.
So more people were clicking on more links, right? So obviously click-through rate is going to go up just because they have to click to read the story, but I checked all the other links too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
there's so much data that comes out of emails.
Interesting, Greg. I could take over this conversation completely, Greg. I could. Do you have questions, Greg? Do you have questions?
I have seen emails also with sort of an index at the top of what's in that email newsletter and each one links directly to that section in the email. Have you sent out those, or do you have any experience in how well those perform versus other methods?
I've sent those out in the past. I'm going to say I don't have recent experience, so I don't have recent metrics on it. For me, that works best when you're doing an aggregator style email. So there's kind of two types of newsletters that you can do. One is if you're aggregating a bunch of stuff together, whether it's your own, so let's say blog posts for the past week, past month, or if you're going to say 10 different sites to find the best news in your industry and curating it down to your top 3 stories for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's when telling people upfront what they're getting seems to be the most important, because essentially they're trusting you to be an authoritative source of information and to essentially pre-screen their news for them.
Interesting.
So if people sign up for that kind of newsletter with you, then they're looking to save time, because they don't want to have to scan through your entire blog. They don't want to have to scan through all these other news sites. They're trusting you to do that, and being able to save them time by putting that list up top.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste their time either, because they'll be like, okay, that's great. There's nothing in this one I am interested in.
Yeah.
Wait for the next one if there's
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is interesting. So Bonnie is saying she prefers constant contact. One of the questions I had for you is, because you've been in this so long, you probably have like your favorite. So I'm going to ask you that. And then guys, we're going to dive into those questions, because of course we're running out of time, but we're going to dive into those questions that were asked. So Kat, favorite for you personally, it's a personal thing. What email service provider do you adore?
I adore MailChimp. Okay. I'm not going to lie.
Do you pay for it?
MailChimp is solid in the space.
Okay.
I find them easy to use. They have the different tiers and really accessible.
It's also easy to collaborate. Like I have access to many clients' MailChimp through my own account, so I just log in and I can choose whichever client I need to work with that particular time. So I would agree. MailChimp's really good.
That's interesting.
So MailChimp is my go-to. I'm currently using HubSpot. I'm totally a HubSpot fangirl. But in terms of like broad usability, less so there. Okay. I've used Constant Contact. I've used, I think Convio is still in the game, or Blackbot is still in the game. I've used a bunch of them.
Interesting. Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah. Lovely. I hope we get to talk soon. Okay. Now we're going to drill in. Okay. Greg, I don't know if you saw these questions. They're maybe going to be slightly rapid fire, people. So how do you get a newsletter into your inbox, in maybe the primary inbox?
There is no magic wand for that. This is the one where you have to ask people to do it, either in the confirmation email if you're doing a double opt-in. So double opt-in means they sign up and the system automatically sends them an email to test and make sure that that's valid, and asks them to click something else to confirm their sign up. So if you're doing that, put the whitelist us here in that message. If you're not doing it that way, or even if you just want to add and reinforce that, you have to ask people to do it on the thank you for signing up page. There's no other way to get them to automatically go into Gmail's inbox instead of one of the like advertising, marketing, whatever.
We use something called Streak for our customer management system, and it has got a component where you can build your email. It's not like a newsletter, I don't think. Hey, Karen. And yeah, I was thinking maybe it could be the provider. It sounds like it's part of the secret box. That magic box we're all trying to figure out. If you have answers, pop them in here. Here's a good question. So have you heard of Amazon SES?
I haven't heard of Amazon SES, but I'm assuming that it's one of Amazon's cloud services related to online provisioning. If I'm completely off base, then.
So we can't answer that question, people. But if anybody has the answer, here's the question. Is one email service better than the others? We already answered that. Any experience with Amazon SES or SIS? Greg, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Amazon SES, but I just learned the other day that Amazon had a social network. Did anybody know this?
Oh, that's weird. No. No idea.
Closing it down anyway.
Ah,
Maybe because nobody knew about it.
right? Here's a question from Rodney, and he was really active in the question asking, which I really appreciate because he's starting a business. We're rooting for you, Rodney. Rodney and Mona, I think, are in cahoots. Two of our group members, guys. He's asking, can you segment newsletters? I have people that want cleaning and have different pain points, right? Maybe. So, how would we do that?
Yes. So you can make your sign up like a little quiz, or you can send them a little quiz as part of their welcome email
I
to
like
say
that.
what is it that you're interested in? What are the things that are um, really just gonna get you going when it comes to finding out more about our business? And from there, you can either put them on separate lists if they need different kinds of touch points, or if you're putting them all on the same touch point, do variants of your newsletter.
Ooh.
So let's say you have 3 stories, you have A, B, C, right? The people who either have no interest that they've expressed in particular, or are really interested in A, get A as the first story,
Mm.
right? The people who are really interested in point B would get B as the first story, but A and C are still there as subsidiary stories,
Interesting.
and so on and so forth like that.
That's kind of cool. That's
So,
good segmentation, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so we also have what's the average open rate? I think we answered this. Might have been 20%.
20%.
Yeah, that one we answered, and I answered like in more detail on Rodney's comment, just because the numbers part is really interesting when you're in it, but boring to talk about right now.
Mm.
So go down and see the post.
Right. And guys, there is a post in the group. And if you do have questions, tag Kat and she'll come on and help answer because we're all trying to figure this out. And I know I'm starting my own newsletter. So if you'd like to subscribe, please comment below. No. um, but I do sign up for newsletters and I don't like the daily. I don't. And so we're all different. We all have different audiences. Kat, are there like for a newbie, what kind of things are you going to recommend, like time wise? Because sounds like I could spend a lot of time, get confused. I'm a little scared. What do I do?
Okay, so I would say figure out what it is that you want to move the needle on, whether it's driving more traffic to your website, whether it's getting more views on a video, whether it's getting more people to like you on your social pages. Figure out what your goal is in terms of moving that needle, because email newsletters can definitely do that for you, and make that your number one thing.
Mm.
Make it informative. This is not a salesy email. There are sales emails as part of email marketing, but when you're talking about a newsletter, keep it informative. You're talking top of the funnel, maybe middle of the sales funnel, if they're really engaged, or there's a possibility for them to be repeat clients for you. But so for example, if I was selling stretchy black pants, instead of telling you that I have a new style of stretchy black pants coming out, and they are going to be $49, I am going to tell you a story about what went into the process of making them. Or I'm going to tell you some of my testimonials around that, right? Like I'll get someone who wears stretchy black pants all the time and just swears by my new style of stretchy black pants.
Okay, I get that. So would you ever
Right?
link to somebody else's content?
Yes, you definitely can if you're choosing that aggregator style where the value that you're adding for your newsletter subscribers is that you're pre-screening their news for them. So in that case, link away. Don't link to the same sites every time,
Right?
because if you're linking to the same site every time, why wouldn't they just sign up for
Right.
that site's newsletter? So keep it fresh, keep a good mix going on. But you can have a newsletter with as few as one thing in it.
Mm,
If that thing is a really good story that you want to move the needle on.
yeah. Guys, you know what? I'm going to have to go back and listen to the replay and take some notes. Plus, I'm going to be using this as a blog post too. So, but this is good. Did you see Greg smile there? He cracked a smile. I saw it, Greg.
Remember when I never smiled?
No, you do smile. You just,
The good old days when I never smiled.
So Kelly's saying that he's got to catch the replay because he missed some of it, right? You jumped in the middle. I'm sorry. Kelly, 11 a.m. Thursdays, we're here. Kim just joined us. Hey, Kim. And Rodney's got a really good question. Now, I think I could answer this question, but I'm going to throw it to you guys. And then we got to go, guys, because we'll tell you what's going on next week. But can you add retargeting to your newsletters?
Yes.
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 Right. So because people would be clicking, if they go through from the newsletter to your site, depending on what page they land on, you could retarget and you could segment the retargeting. There's a lot you could do, right, with that. So it sounds to me like email marketing or newsletter marketing is a component that crosses over between your blog, your content, and your social, right? So, because I really like that. There was a hot tip, guys, at the beginning, a hot tip. If you can find it and post it here, I don't know. I'll give you a prize. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, so we got to go. Thank you, Kat, so much. You're such an asset. If you guys have questions, you make sure to ask her. We got her for the day.
I feel like I should have taken the day off.
No. You're so important here, Greg. I need to tell you guys, Greg was a little tardy to the party and I was losing it. I will tell you, Kat had to hear me. I was like, ah! And that's why
I was sticking up for you though, Greg. Totally stuck up for you.
Right? And that's why the
look good for the live.
Right? That's why the pictures are slightly off because I get flustered, and when I get flustered, I just hit the go button. So that being said, we got to go. But Greg, what's next week's topic?
Good question.
I love doing this too. Don't look at the header banner, buddy.
I can't get there quick enough anyways.
Right. I got you. So it's
drum roll.
Client management, how we do it. Right. So this is a big one. We all manage clients. And I know Kat's going to be around and she's probably got some opinions on that. So we can bug her about that too. But let's all thank Kat. Yay, Kat. Thank you. That was so good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and we're going to have you back, buddy. We're going to have you back. So
sounds good.
If you guys have questions, pop them in. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you so much. Greg, you got anything to say?
I got nothing.
He loves everybody.
And you a lot.
Right? And Greg's going to start sending out a newsletter next month, people.
Yeah, look for it. Everybody needs to sign up, man. You don't want to miss it.
Where do they sign up, Greg?
Just email me your email.
Interesting. Now, here's something I did not mention. Kat, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, best way.
Before you keep going.
I know. I'm sorry.
I actually have something on my website that says sign up for my email. Oh, what am I joking? What am I kidding? I'm never going to send out an email. Follow me on social media below.
Do you write that?
I actually have that at the bottom of my website.
Oh my God, I'm going to go look. That is funny. Okay, Kat, where do people find you?
Okay, people can find me in this group. They can find me as Kat Lim on Facebook. So you can mention me in comments or send me a DM if you think it's something that not everyone needs to know. And I'll be keeping a closer eye on those for the next week or so after we do this. Otherwise, I am currently very happily employed for Auxilium Mortgage here in Victoria. So you can find me there for sure. And you can send me a quick email to connect that way. And otherwise, yeah,
all right.
That's me.
That's great. Greg, people know where to find you. We'll see you in the group. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much, Kat. A lot of people just thanked you, by the way. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.